So welcome everybody, thank you for joining in today again for a cooking class. Today we're doing meatloaf. We're going to do some roasted cauliflower with some bacon and grated cheese or cheese sauce again. We're also going to make a ketchup. So we made some sauces last year, so I'm actually using that recipe that we used last year. So we'll do that, and that will actually be a part of the meatloaf that we're making. Traditional meatloafs in the past, we would have used breadcrumbs. Some we use sausage meat, mince combinations. Today it's pretty simple. We're just going to be using mince. We've got almond meal. Almond meal is going to be our other substitute where we don't use the flour, that we use almond meal. You can use cheddar. I'm using mozzarella because it's always stringy and it actually binds really well. And also using parmesan. And we're going to use different seasonings. So today I've got, like all of this, I've got oregano, an Italian seasoning, and a bit of chili. Not much, just a little bit of chili, so we don't want it too hot. And then we've got for the sauce, we're going to use tomato, organic tomato puree. These are $1.19, I think. They're quite cheap. Instead of soy sauce, I'm using the coconut amino seasoning. It's very strong and it tastes just like Worcestershire sauce and soy sauce. And then instead of sweetener in our sauce, we're using the natural, which is stevia plant-based, mixed with the erythritol. This is zero on the glycemic index, so this is ideal for those that are diabetic. All right. And then we're going to use a couple other seasonings here, a bit of allspice, some ground up cloves, and some crushed garlic. And we also have black apple cider vinegar. All right. And then just down on good old seasoning, salt and pepper. So what I've done is I've already prepped some of it just to streamline, like I said before. So I'll go through how the process is and how we put it together, then get our hands dirty. And then I've got a cake tin. I'm just using cake tins. Now it doesn't matter necessarily what you use. You can use flat tins like this. I guess it really comes down to appearances. So it is a meatloaf, so we use a loaf tin. But you can use these flat tins, spread it out. So
does it change the cooking time?
I guess it can a bit. That's why it pays to keep an eye on it. But it shouldn't make too much of a change in the cooking time. So this cooks for about 40 minutes. And then we bring it out, put the sauce with it, put it in for another 15 minutes. And then it's pretty much ready to serve. So I've got one already cooking away there. I've already started one so that it's ready to pull out when this one's ready to go in, sort of thing. So you'll need one of those if you've got those at home. You can also do these sometimes you can even do them make them in these. So make little muffin ones. The idea of doing it this way is you can make it for lunches and it's going to take it to school and lunch. So you can do it this way as well. So yeah, use eggs and everything that helps bind it together as well. So yeah. So also with the cauliflower, I've already got that in the roasting as well, just so that everything sort of comes out at the same time. The way I do the cauliflower, I'm roasting it. I actually put it in the microwave or steam it a bit, so it just softens a bit. Then put it in the oven and let the rest do the roasting. Okay, and just keep an eye on it. You'll see the change in the color. You can add salt, seasoning right over the top, just as if you were to do roast veggies another way. So all I've done is put it in by itself with a bit of salt over the top. That's
oil?
Just straight up, because we're going to add, bacon and cheese with it and all that. So it's going to be all those flavors. and still have that sort of baked roast sort of thing. All right. So, in saying that, so what we want to do is, okay, I've cut an onion up. I've diced it up sort of pretty small, as you can see, it's only in small bits. And the celery, I've sort of the same. I've just cut it up into smaller bits, so bite sizes. We're going to cook all of this together with a bit of cooking oil, get it started. So when you put it in, just turn your element on to high. And what we're going to do is just cook it till it's translucent. Just so it's, you got all the oil and celery, onion, and the garlic all combined. And then we're going to just set it aside. After we've added the seasoning, we've got some seasoning here. We're going to add that as well. And we're just going to cook it all through and then set it aside, let it cool down. And then we will do our mince, the almond meal, cheese, and so on. And then we're going to add it all together with the eggs and just get our hands dirty and mix it all together. So you don't want to get your hands dirty, get the kids involved. Get them into it. I love it. All right, so let's just add all of this into our. So just cook it on a sort of high to medium to high heat. You can turn it down when you're ready. But we want to get the all the garlic and onions and the celery to get combined, but also translucent. So just mix it around, really simple. With this particular recipe as well, it is really simple to do, but it's just good to get everything organized and just go as you're doing it. So this is just 1 teaspoon of each component, which is chili powder, oregano, and Tuscan powder, or different brandings use. They call it Italian seasoning. Just use that one. Tuscan is the same, just a different name. Yeah. So we're just going to add that. All right, and give it a good mix. And we want to combine all that seasoning all the way through. Give it a good stir. It's actually quite an easy dish to make as well. The prep time's about 15-20 minutes. It's the cooking time that takes a while. It's a bit noisy out there today. So I've just got this beehive beef bacon. That's what we're going to use to line the tin, and then put the mince on and then wrap that around. This tin's a bit covered behind you. I should have the apron, just the apron. Black apron should be one more. So, here it is at the back. I'll put this on. Don't know who this one is. So, like I said, it doesn't take long for these to get translucent and cook through. All right. So, I'll heat down a bit. So there, you'll notice that that's pretty good. Like this is translation, and because it continues to cook even when you take it off the heat. So for those at home, that's pretty much all we're looking for. If you want, you can cut the celery up into smaller pieces if you feel that they're too big. All right. I'll put that that to the side. We'll leave that element on low. We're also going to use that same element to do our sauce. So you can just use a normal one to do our sauce today, just a normal pot. Using the whisk stick to combine and mash all of the, especially the chunky ingredients. All right. So, second. Okay, so what we want to do is with a big pot, add our mince. Add 2 eggs. Okay. Doesn't matter what order you really do it because you're going to mash it up anyway into your hands. All right. So I'm going to add a little bit of pepper, salt here, same again. Salt it to your flavor too, like. So that's teaspoon, just have a teaspoon of salt here. With this, use around about 2 tablespoons should be more than enough. This is quite salty as well, so just be wary of that. If you've got Worcestershire sauce or soy sauce, choose that. I'm only using this because it was actually covered in the fire. So if you haven't seen this product, just pass this around, have a look at it. Okay. And so in here, I put a couple of almond meal, a handful of mozzarella or a cup of mozzarella. I didn't need to just put it in, mozzarella is all good. And then I use a small amount of parmesan as well. Okay, so same again, just sometimes like sticking to the ingredients is all good, but sometimes you might have a favorite that you want to add a little bit more flavoring to. So we're just going to add that. And this, we're just going to sit for a little bit longer. That's all fine, but we're just going to mix it all in together. Okay. So try and get everything out. Just try and make sure that you get everything. And that's what it should sort of look like. So we're going to get our hands nice and dirty and mix it up. So, people doing, make sure they wash their hands. We're just gonna basically just get in there and we're just gonna mix it through. You know, combine all those ingredients together. All right. It's a bit gooey, but kids don't mind. It's still fun. So mix it through really, really well. Any questions so far?
You can use half beef, half sausage and fat.
Yeah. You can use. I find sometimes it can be quite a bit dearer. Yeah, so this was just over $8 a kilo, so that's why I just stuck with the mince. So sometimes it's just purely sticking to a budget and showing that it's easy to do and it still tastes great. But yeah, growing up, my my mother used to do it here with both, combine the two. So you'll get a nice, mixes are really, really nice. And like I said, you got the little cupcake tins you can do, you know, just, you could even do patties out of this if you really wanted to, this mixture. Okay, so there's several options you can do with it. If you wanted to add a bit of grated carrots, you know, grated carrots. So there's meatloafs, these are different sort of ingredients you can add. Sometimes though, less is good. So that's pretty mixing pretty well. I'm just going to let that sit. Wash my hands, and then we're going to do this bacon. So the bacon was on special as well, so that's why I'm sort of using it today. I try to, sometimes that's the best way to shop. So cooking for the week can be based on just what all the sales are, not necessarily anything else. All right. So like I said, cake tins, even you know, we can still even do bacon with the cupcake tins. The difference is you just, when you we put the bacon strips in, they're going to go in like so, and then the mince over the top, and then you're going to fold it over. Same with these, just put the bacon around the edge of these, fill it with mince in the middle, and depending on how good your tin is, just make sure you grease it so that it comes out. Had plenty of times where I forgot to do that. It looked great, smelled great, but didn't come out. But so it happens. And same with bacon, just, you know, that is one bacon. So all we're going to do is just line it like so. And then we're slowly just going to overlap them, so they're going to overlap by a few mils. Okay. If you want it to stay in place, just fold it over the edge of it. All right. And then once we've done this, I'll put this in, and then we're going to make the sauce. Okay. So it can be a bit tedious, so sometimes you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Okay. It's all about the flavor at the end of it. It's pretty much. So we've got 6 pieces of bacon there. All right. So pretty much just overlap it a bit. And it won't cover the whole thing over too, by the way, like unless you've got normal bacon. So if it doesn't, that's fine. You can actually just cut it up into, so you have, say you can see what I mean. You can do this. So before you wrap that bacon over that, you just put layers that way and then wrap the outside ones over. Okay. And then when we bring it out, the sauce over the top, it'll just go over the top, go back in there, bake it off for another 15 to 20 minutes. So it's pretty easy to do. All right. So, yeah, mixture again. So it's quite a bit up there. We're just gonna push it down. Okay. Push it into those edges. And like I was saying before, you just add bacon across the top like so. you don't like bacon, the other one that's going to come out. You smell it already? Oh, that's good. Right, so we're just going to layer that up. So, oh, come up with our battery.
Yeah, 20% low power mode.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Still
Right.
using phone.
So we're just going to do this. Even this is a good little job for the kids to do. Put them into the kitchen and top
No,
food.
it's charging.
Okay, and then you'll just fold those over. If I done it evenly, salt that side over as well. Right. So we'll do that. And that's pretty much what it's going to look like. All right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy, really, eh? And it does smell really good. So, so just for those at home, so that's what it's going to look like. And remember, this is just optional doing the wrapping the bacon. Right. So, come on, this one. Just going to move this one over a bit. Slide this one on the side. All the cheeses and everything, you got to remember too, when you add cheese, you're adding more liquid as well. So you'll get a bit of liquid in there. And just remember when we add all the sauce as well, there's a little bit more liquid in there. And when we bring it up, it'll taste really, really yummy. So keep that going. Got the cauli starting to brown off on the top. So even if we pull that out a little bit sooner, that's fine. We can go back in after. So we'll do that actually. Second. So that's going to brown off even more than what it is. So nice and even in the middle, and that's pretty much just let it do its thing. Get into the sauce. I don't know who was here last year, but did you get to try the sauces last year? Did anyone come and try the sauces last year? So we made like about 7 different sauces. So we made a barbecue sauce, was a blackberry chili barbecue sauce, ketchup. We made a hollandaise, a mayonnaise. We made a mushroom sauce. We made a satay sauce and a cheese sauce as well. So we made about 7 or so sauces. And then what we did was we got to try them all out with different types of meat and veggies. So I'm pretty sure it's up on the page and on the files on the low carb healthy farming page. But if it isn't, I'll put it up so that you guys can try it at home. So the one we're going to do is the ketchup one, which is going to be added to the meatloaf. All right. So saying that, so in here I've just got chunky onion, got a bit of salt, got some garlic, and I've got some allspice, and I've also got some ground up clove. Okay, so we're going to add all of that in together. To kick us off, though, we're going to add a jar of the tomato puree. So this is, like I said, about $1.20. I think it was yesterday when I got it. It's pretty cheap. So we're just going to add some medium. That's good. Try and get it all out. And here I've got a bit of water, so I put a cup of water and the same apple cider vinegar, so we're going to add that as well. Okay. We're also going to add these ingredients here, which I was just saying with the garlic. You just want to add them all in at the same time, and we're going to cook them right through so they're really soft. And we're going to use the lid stick here to mash it down to make a texture. Or if you've got a NutriBullet or something that would make it a little easier for you, totally go for it. So you can pass that around. Look at that. So with that, I've kind of add the sweetener. So with this recipe, when I put it up, it says drops as well, so you can use stevia drops. Just make sure you just be quite easy on them because they're very, very sweet. The stevia drops. So we're going to use a tablespoon or tablespoons of sweetener. With any sauces that you buy out there, they've all got sweeteners in them. So always read the labels. That's why we test it with. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of this mixture. Now, if you find, when you try it, if you find that it's not quite sweet enough for you, add a little bit more, all right? Because it can be quite tangy. So you want to make sure you enjoy it. So we're just going to mix those in really well together. The onions will soften up, the garlic will soften up, and then obviously when we mash it down as well, it's going to combine really well. But it's a really simple kitchen. And then you can buy the bottles, you can buy empty bottles at Kmart and all that, sauce bottles. Just keep it in that and it'll keep for just like normal sauce. All right. So you can make your own sauce at home and know that it's going to support your low carb eating. And then the kids don't have to miss out either. So it's nice. All right. So yeah, it's also keep an eye on it. Like keep it sort of stirring. We don't want to burn it to the bottom of the pot. Done that plenty of times. So. But yes, a small pot like that will be fine. It'll be a little bit full of. It's just when I go to mash it up with the stick, I want a bit more room. So we'll mix that. Once this is ready, it'll be pretty much good time to pull the first meatloaf out, and we'll cover it with the sauce, and then we'll put it back in for another 20. And then we'll be able to hopefully the other one will be ready to come out not long after as well. So with the collie, you can almost get away with just leaving it like this if you wanted to. Just move it around, get the pieces that are more so at the bottom, bring them to the top, just so that they get a bit of a bake on them as well. See, it doesn't take much to do that. And they will continue to bake pretty quickly, and they'll be good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got the tray there. I'm actually going to put some bacon strips in there. Bottom. I'm going to leave that to keep boiling away. make sure that it's stirred in really well as well. We want all those flavors to combine. Then I'll get someone to try it. So what we're going to do here is, like I was saying, we're going to put some bacon in there. We're just going to crisp it up in the oven on the top shelf. And then that will just, then we'll just cut it up into small bits and do like a little bowl or a side bit with a bit of bacon and add some cheese on top of that as well. And have a meatloaf. It doesn't matter what street bacon you get, just buy what's so special. Just use a flat tray if you've got a flat tray. Doesn't matter what tray you do it on. So keep an eye on this. It starts to thicken up a bit soon, which is fine. That's what we want. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring this over to the side. So what I do is I tend to tilt it. And then just combine it. And you get this nice thick sauce. We want to break down the onion and the garlic. Just blitz it up. Can be a little bit chunky if you want it. Can leave it a little bit chunkier. This job probably not the greatest job for kids. It's a little bit hot, so just be wary of that. Yeah, just really break it down. Can make a difference when we add it to our meatloaf. This is actually a really nice sauce with doing barbecue as well. So there is the blueberry or blackberry sauce recipe there. This is actually quite nice as well. And like I said, the reason for breaking it down also is you don't want to get this one big chunk of garlic. Right, almost there. And you won't entirely get like all the onions crushed down, but you're pretty close. Yeah. Turn it down to low. Just move it off the heat a bit. You want to try it? AJ, you want to try it? Let's,
Oh, what am I? Sorry.
just try a little bit. Tell me if it's too sweet or if it's not sweet enough.
Oh, someone else needs to try it. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Does anyone want to just quickly just try a little bit on their tongue? Anyone? Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. I like it. Just smells tasty.
Anyone else want to quickly try it? Just, yeah, I can.
That's not saying.
Give it a little blow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you reckon? Yeah. Yeah. All good? Okay, that's good. Sorry? Like a radish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more you break it down, or the more sweetening you add, the change in texture, but also the change in flavor and calories. So you can make it to suit your own taste buds just by trying it and adding a few ingredients. There's no rule of thumb about how to do it, but stick to the I guess the three main ingredients: the water, the apple cider vinegar, and the puree. Add those. The seasonings all add a different component, so you can change that component to suit your own household. Okay. And when we use like brown cloves and allspice, and that, they're really strong. So you only use literally a pinch of each one. Okay. And then you can even make it a hot sauce by adding a bit of chili powder if you want to make it a bit more hotter. Just start with a teaspoon and work your way up. And start at the other spectrum and find out that it's too hot. I've done that before. All right. So yeah, so that's how easy it is, and we can do this process again. I'll show you what I mean. So, right, I'm going to pull this other one out. And we're going to cover it with the sauce. And then we're going to put it back in. So as you can see, here it is there at the moment. And you can see there's a bit of liquid in the bottom. Don't worry about that. When you serve it up and take it out, you'll bring out the loaf, there will be a bit of liquid in the base of it. All right. So, so you can still see there's still a few chunks in there. That's fine. Okay. If you want to fine it, just splits it down even more. Like I said, a electric bullet or a blender can probably do that a lot more efficiently than a stick blender. But, it still works. All right. Stick blenders are about $15 at the house, so they're quite cheap. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add our sauce over the top. Okay. Now remembering we still want a bit for the other one. So that's it. Just going to push those out to the outer edges. This is going to give it another nice flavor with the meat, which is really yum. Okay. Off. Right, we're going to return that one back to the and when you've done this process, we're actually just putting it back in for about another 15-20 minutes. If you want to know if it's cooked right through, just give it a cut in the middle and just separate it a bit, and you'll be able to see if the meat is actually cooked right through. If it's not, just give it a little bit longer. So you don't need to get it out and cut it, find out it's not, you can't put it all back. Just put one cut down the middle because you are going to slice it anyway. Then you're going to serve it as slices. So just chop it in the middle. Feel it needs a bit longer, but also remember when we pull it out, we let it rest for about 10 minutes. So it's also going to absorb and retain a lot of those juices as well, and it will still continue to cook while it's resting. Okay, so we'll do that as well. So I'm going to put this bacon on the top. Obviously, we have like a couple of ovens sometimes, do bits and pieces. So last week, you guys would have seen me do the cheese sauce. So I'm going to do that process again and just show you how easy it is to do the cheese sauce. So you have that option of adding grated cheese with bacon, or you can have cheese sauce and bacon on top of the cheese sauce with olive. So there's different ways you can serve it up, and this is actually quite a nice little. It can be a main dish, or it can be a side dish. It's up to you. It's really filling. You get some really good fats in it, and coli is a great superfood. So. All right. So just turn the oven stove back on high. So we put that in at 20 to 11. So we're going to allow that to cook off to about 11. We'll pull it out. We'll check it. We'll see how it goes. Got our bacon, trying to crisp that up. If you want to crisp it up, just put it on the grill and just crisp the top and make it really hard and bring it up. You almost just whack it and it'll break. That's only for baking at the moment. All right. So put the butter. We're going to aim for about 100 grams. The volume changes to suit the size of the household and what you're serving. Remember, this is also great. Like, say if you have some left over, put it in the fridge and have it later. It goes solid. So you can cut it up and add this. Heaps of things you can do with cheese sauce. It makes a nice dip. So we were cutting up celery before. So celery. Do a range of like carrots, celery, broccoli, and just have those as a dip. There's that option as well. It's really simple too. Anyone can make it. And it's one of my favorites actually. So we're just going to let that butter just dissolve into the heat. We're going to add some of this cream, then add some cheese, bit of seasoning. And like last week, just keep an eye on it. I forgot to. A bit of an overflow. That happens as well. All right. Any questions so far? So we use about just a cup full of pot today. So like I said, you'll be able to pour it on yourself as you like. So you'll have it as a side, put some sauce on, and then just sprinkle some bacon on it, maybe some herbs if you want herbs. Really simple, really easy. All right, and really great for carb food too. So yeah, so just watch it. We're going to aim for so we put about 1 cup of cream in there, put 100 grams of butter. And we're just going to add the amount of cheese that we want. So I normally go about 2 handfuls, and you get a really nice thick, gooey sauce. Mozzarella too does that perfectly. You can use other sauces. Other cheeses. There's no rule about what cheese you use. You just get different textures and different flavors to the type of cheese you're going to use. I like to use mozzarella, so it's tasty, Colby, Edam's a very mild cheese, like mozzarella is, so the flavor not so strong. All right. Just bacon. Bacon's looking good. The other one there is looking really good. Yeah, so you can also do this cauliflower, broccoli as well. So we're doing cauliflower, but we can do broccoli as well. Or we combine the two. So you still got a cheese sauce with broccoli. It's really yum. Yeah. It's always a nice option next to like, meatloaf. Warm sauce side, the cheese sauce. Yeah. No questions at all? No? You are hungry? just putting it up there. Lucky I cooked 2 today. So yeah. Let's check that there's no questions on the So for those at home, feel free to ask a question. I see the comments come up when you are asking questions. So anyone at home, feel free to ask. So just starting to boil up. So add the cheese. And we're going to put salt and pepper, that as well. Same again. There's no real measurement, just add to your, what you guys want to try. So then we're going to mix that. Also keep an eye on it. We don't want to burn the cheese to the bottom of the pot as well. So give it a stir. Start it up. Okay, so yeah, give it a good stir. And it doesn't take long, but you can see the cheese is already started to dissolve. And that's literally just basically the 3 ingredients. And as we let it cool, it actually oxidizes and gets thicker. Okay. So we pretty much do this all on pretty much a high heat. And just keep an eye on it so we don't burn it. All right. I'll just show the camera. Okay, so as you can see, there's the sauce. So it's nice and gooey. And we're just going to basically set that to the side. Going to pop down. That's going to thicken as well. So we'll check out the bacon. So I'm just going to change this to grill and then go back to bake. I want to crisp up that bacon, cut it up, and then put it into a bowl and have it as a side. You can just add it with tongs, whatever you want. But the to do these dishes is really, really easy. To do it at home, you can feed a lot of people. So if I put this into costing context, I spent $96 yesterday. All up. All right, and how many of us have enough to feed everyone? All right, so work it out in your head. It's normally around about $4 to $5, even a bit less per serve. So it's quite an economical way of buying. Just use bacon for wrapping around the meatloaf. We've got bacon there to crisp up to have holly. We've got cheese sauce with some ketchup. So it's quite a lot of options there, and they're quite a cost-effective way of doing it. All right, so you can do this at home easy enough. And we're happy, like if you're unsure about different methods or way of doing things, just post up on the page what you're trying to do, and we can try and ask that question for you so you can get the best outcomes at home. And we also want to get you to share what you're cooking, share more and more. Sharing is good. It's not only it's good to see what you guys are doing, but it also inspires others.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's great, you know, when we're all on those health journeys, to see all the cool food we can eat that we probably thought we could have. Yeah, so keep sharing, doing that. So that won't take long to grill. Show you, you can actually see what the sauce now, just for those who can see that it's only been sitting a short time. You can see it's starting to get like quite thick. Yeah, that's what it does. Cheese, butter, and cream. Yeah, cheese, butter, and cream. And a bit of seafood. Sorry. So yeah, no, we don't have flowers or no flowers or anything. Like I said, it's real simple. You literally just put some of this in a bowl, cover it in the cheese sauce, and then put bacon on top and serve it like that as one dish. Or you can, or else what you could do is you could, same again, put it in a bowl, sprinkle some cheese on top, put some bacon, as long as this is hot, the cheese will just melt over it anyway. So really simple. For those that didn't see me before, what I did was I actually put them into a bowl, cut them up, put them into a bowl, put a bit of water in the base of the bowl, and I put them in the microwave for 3 minutes. Okay, that just softens up the holly, and then I'll put them into the baking tray. And as you can see, they brown off quite easily by themselves. So we'll put that back in to brown off the rest of it. Just want bacon to burn off. And then once that's done, those can go back in on top. And then we'll bring that out and we'll put, I'll start to make some space in this table here. It's also another nice dish that you can actually send to school with the kids. You know, just put it in a bowl all ready to go. You can eat it cold, it's still quite nice. Plenty of options for us to do at home. Yeah, mince at Countdown yesterday was $8.90 a kilo, a whole kilo. So normally you pay around $12. So it's actually a really good buy. It was a limit to 4 per person, but totally worth it. So sometimes you gotta also look at, is it worth going to just get one product there when you can get all of them in one place? You might pay a little bit more, but the outcome might be still better off. So yeah, sometimes you have to just check that out. Wow. So we're just going to crisp bacon up like that. Okay. Close that back up. Change that back to bake. And yes, so what we do here is we're just going to put the bacon onto the tray, cut it up into small slices. And then we'll put some more in. Yes, it's quite easy. You can do smaller trays, bigger trays, whatever you want. You can grill it for longer, and you'll get a really, really crunchy hard bacon. Or you can just do it as how we're doing it now. Remember, there's a lot of salt, sodium. So bacon can be quite salty, so you don't need to add more. Or if it's not enough, just add more. Sure. I'm just going to put those in ready to go for the next one. As you let it cool down too, it actually crisps up by itself. All right. Just one more in. See, those are starting to look really good in here. Here. We'll give that another bake up a little bit. Over. So there's no special way to do this, just feel rustic and just cut it out you want. And there. Bacon's one of my favorite. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's bacon. So we've got our bacon here. Here. Yeah. Those are forks in here, guys. So when I bring it all out, you guys will be able to get into it. Hello, Phil. Good timing. Just about to serve up. Yeah, have a well. There's more chairs. Did you want to grab one from Mooks? No. You can give him that one. Oh, cool. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to pull out the first meatloaf. Okay, pull out this first one. So, like I was saying, like, that's it. What I want to do is just give it a cut down the middle. Okay. And then just give it a separate and have a look. Okay, it's good. So we're just going to let that rest, okay, for about 5 minutes. And that's actually ready to cut up and serve up. So I'll just show the camera. So if you can see that, okay, that's got the ketchup we made. And then just nice and easy. And like I said, at home you can also do, yeah, it's got plenty of juices in it. So the reason for also doing is that we want it to absorb some of the juices back in. Okay, it's like any meat that you cook, but if you cook the steak in that, you let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes they tell you to rest it the same amount of time that you cook it.